Athens' road system evolved through history, reflecting the city's changing lifestyle and beliefs. In classical times, roads led to the Acropolis, while during the Byzantine era, the churches at the intersections. In Ottoman times, the urban structure funneled to the bazaar, enabling control within the city walls. In the 1830s, Athens transformed as it became Greece's capital. Architects designed a new plan blending ancient and modern elements, featuring wide boulevards and a grid system around the key areas like the Royal Palace. This modernization was partly driven by a large influx of migrants, necessitating rapid and efficient urban development. While aiming to preserve historic sites, the plan often cut through old neighborhoods, replacing narrow streets with broader, vehicle-friendly roads. The layout was also designed to facilitate governmental control over the city. The result was the city combining its ancient past with modern urban planning. This transformation brought Athens into a new era, but also altered many old areas, sometimes prioritizing efficiency and governance over historical memory and pedestrian-friendly spaces.
However, you said it's full of motorcycles.
But the upper floors were all designed as apartments. But the ground floors become commercial activities. And this is the most successful thing about Athens, because the result of this is an amazing mix of uses. A mix of uses that took place by itself. Nobody designed it.
Walking is the most sustainable form of transportation, and it should be everybody's right, and that everything that's done, every planning decision that's made and so on, should take into account what it does to pedestrianization. It has to have an anatomy that runs into the neighborhood. And the anatomy, the clue to it is what you always hear when people talk about a hangout. Oh, it's the corner store, or it's the corner bar. There's always that word corner, but thoughtful things that can be done to show it isn't a second or third class place. Tree planting, traffic taming, putting in markets at the right time. That's one thing that would be meaningful and hopeful for the future. Children latched on themselves to something active and free, like skateboarding. This shouldn't be automatically disapproved of, and attempts made to shoo them out of here and there. No, this is a healthy thing.
One of the first things I noticed about Athens is how it's like a patchwork quilt, a collage of different areas. To imagine the city with fewer cars, I started by identifying these patches as neighborhoods. Next, I mapped out the essential roads that would still be needed for vehicle traffic, like intercity and main roads. All other areas would be pedestrianized and used for public transport. This created long stretches without car roads in some places in the city. So I suggested marking the neighborhood boundary roads as potential controlled access routes for cars. In pedestrianized areas, we'd use elements that would soften the borders like plants or trees that will separate walking and driving zones. We'd also set up public transport in each collage piece to make the city equally accessible for all. Bike lanes would be added to the roads too. In order for a city to be walkable, people need to feel safe while walking in it. So for safety, all streets would be well lit up at night. In exceptional cases of high density of essential roads, such as this example between Nels Kosmos and Koukaki, where the proximity of roads creates this kind of island disconnected from the city, efforts will be made to unravel the island's boundaries. This will be done by creating multiple pedestrian crossings into it, which will also help slow down the traffic around the island itself. Finally, one of Athens' strengths is its mix of uses in the Polykatikia buildings. The walkable city plan would enhance this typology, while more than linking to the city's past, it will be recognizing that some things in this current system just can't change. They must stay as they are.